talking about productivity. Do you feel stressed, overwhelmed, feel like you've got no time in your business or any time to do anything else? We are joined by productivity coach Jo Bendle. Hi Jo.
Hello Katie, hi. Thanks for having me.
Oh no, you're welcome. Jo has amazing resources all about being productive in your business. And actually, Jo travels the world with her laptop, just, you know, adventuring in the world, but still working and being super productive and helping all these other fabulous entrepreneurs.
And this is actually why I'm so passionate about productivity, because like I feel like it's like the most important skill set that as entrepreneurs we need to kind of nail. But the reason it gets me excited is because I had this big dream that I wanted to be able to run my business from anywhere in the world. And the reason it's possible is because I was like, I've used productivity to get me there. And so that's why I get excited about getting to share tips, because it's literally, we're here and we want to get here and we need a vehicle, and productivity is the vehicle. So yeah, very excited to share some juicy gems today.
Oh, amazing. I cannot wait. I just love everything to do with productivity. So yeah. Jo, what is your first tip for us?
Okay, so what I'm going to say is that the things I'm going to share with you today, generally, or very likely, they're not going to be things that you've never heard of, because that's the thing for me about productivity is you don't need complex systems. You just need to implement some really productive habits. So it's a lot about habits, but the first thing that I want to talk about is top tip number one is really embrace imperfect action. Now, this has to be my top productivity tip because it's been the thing that's had the biggest impact on my own journey. So almost everybody I know, they're holding themselves and their businesses up by perfectionism. And you kind of like think, well, what's that got to do with productivity? Well, I talk about things called productivity blocks, and perfect doesn't exist. We all know that. So perfectionism is a productivity block, and it's stopping you from taking the action. So by embracing imperfect action, you're actually just giving yourself permission to move forward, to take that next step. And as I say, it's my top productivity tip because it's been the one thing that's had the biggest impact to my business, and I use it. It's my default now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Jo. Like,
yeah,
I just feel like if it's like good enough,
yeah,
then like get it out there. And I just feel like, you know, some people just wait to like launch a website because it's not perfect. And I just think things like with a website, they're never going to be perfect. A website is, you know, like a work in progress. So things like that aren't going to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's the difference between not actually having a thriving business. So when you get comfortable taking imperfect action, that's what's going to ensure you actually do have that thriving business. And giving yourself permission to get out there, to be brave, to step outside the super comfy comfort zone, and just see what happens. And I'll tell you what, for me, when I made that decision, it was about 3 years ago, I made this decision. I was getting in my own way. I was frustrated. So I made the decision, right, I'm going to embrace imperfect action. I had it on a Post-it note. I could see it every day. And you know what? I didn't break my business. I haven't lost my reputation or friends or clients by not being perfect. But what I have done is I've grown my business a lot, and I'm living the life that I dreamed of, which is that freedom to work from wherever I choose. And that's because I stepped outside the safe comfort zone.
Yeah.
And so what I would say is, you know, like, embrace that, publish that blog post, hit send on that newsletter, go out there, be visible, because it will be the best thing that you can do for your business. Tell somebody about, you know, what you do today. It's that feel the fear and do it anyway, because I promise you from the bottom of my heart, imperfect action is always going to beat no action, and it's pretty addictive when you get started.
Yeah, I totally love that. Like, it's like being perfect isn't everything. It's all about taking the action instead.
And this isn't about, you know, like, I don't show up, you know, like, you still show up in a way that you feel good about and it's really authentic, but it's okay to say, you know, like, I'm not perfect. I do things all the time that aren't perfect. And instead of me beating myself up about it, I'm like, it's okay. It's better than no action. And people always say to me, but I just love that you're so genuine and you share that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's top tip, embracing perfect action. Tip number 2 is actually to start your day with a bang. So how many times, do you get to the end of the week and you wonder where on earth it went?
Yes, all the time.
All the time. And if we're not careful, we spend our whole week working on the urgent things in our business. It's that whole, I don't have time to do everything. And you never get to that business development task, and you never get to the things that will actually move your business forwards. So one of the easiest ways that you can start to make progress on your goals and not just be reacting to whatever demands are sort of shouting the loudest is to start your day with this focused block of time, and it's purely for working towards the things that will move your business forward. So I always recommend with my clients that they pick 3 MIAs. That's your most important actions. And you always know before you start work what those 3 things are that you've got to do before you can check email, before you can go on Facebook, before you start working in your business.
Yes.
So you're really working on that business to move it forward. So a 90-minute chunk, distraction free, protected time, and if you just do that if you just do that one thing for the next 2 weeks, it's going to drastically change the direction of your business. And so it does ideally need to be first thing before, as I say, before you do your client work, before you check your emails. And if you can't do it first thing, then schedule it for as early as you can in the day as possible. Before as soon as you open your inbox, you're basically becoming reactive to everyone else's to-do list. So this is about putting your stuff as a priority. And if you can't justify 90 minutes, start with 60 minutes or 45. But start with that one form of protected time every morning, where possible, before you check your emails. And the other thing I say is, like, if you're already somebody that's you might already have a part-time job or a full-time job, and this is something that you're trying to build your business on the side. It's like, okay, how can you take this and adapt it for you? So having these 90-minute, we call them mighty 90s in my group. So it's like this powerful mighty 90. So where can you put your mighty 90s in the week? Is it that Saturday mornings I'm going to have a mighty 90 that's really moving my business forwards, and that's when I focus on business development. So super.
Okay, so what's number 3, Jo?
Tip number 3 is actually intertwined with tip number 2, is end your day with a bang. So if you start your day really powerfully and you end your day really powerfully, then everything's going to work out in between. So you've heard what gets measured gets improved. And it's the same with our action taking and our moving forwards. If we don't know what's working and what isn't working, then we can't tweak it to get better results. And excuse me, one of my favorite quotes at the moment is by Brendan Burchard, and he says that high achievers self-monitor more than underachievers. So this is really powerful. Like how many times do we, like I said, we get to the end of the week and we're frustrated with what we've not achieved. But if we're reviewing it, we get to sort of really see quite quickly, oh, this is where I want to change. Sorry, got a thing in my throat. So kind of a big part of my own success strategy is that I make use of the time that I do have available by being super focused on the right tasks. And that's going to be so much easier when you're checking in regularly with what those focus areas are.
So every day, Jo, how much time would you take at the end of your day? Would it be another 90 minutes, or would it be
it'll be like 5 or 10 minutes. It's like super quick. Yeah.
And then what are some of the things that you would review from your day?
Okay, so I would, so this is about really setting you up for success for that mighty 90 tomorrow. Okay. So, and this is like, these 2 together are super powerful. So I say, like, focus on these 2 for the next month and see what impact it has. But for my end of day review, so I would try and do it at the same time every day. The very first thing that I do is celebrate what I did achieve. Now, we always focus on, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and I didn't do that. Now, by human nature is that we're motivated by success. So if we actually take the time to celebrate, this is what I did do today. And then the next step is that you go, right, what are my 3 MIAs, my most important actions that I'm going to do tomorrow? And because you're doing that from this energy of just having nailed, because you've just celebrated, like you're then like, okay, I'm feeling powerful, I'm feeling empowered. What are the things I do tomorrow? And the point is that these need to be, like, most people work from a to-do list that's actually loads of mini projects. So your actions need to be small, bite-sized things that you can do in a 25-minute sort of chunk. So you go back to, say, your monthly goals, and you get really clear, what do I need to achieve this week? Which means, what do I need to achieve tomorrow to be on track? There's a bigger process, but actually, if you take all the noise away and you just go, right, tomorrow, right, end your day, right, step 1, celebrate what I did achieve. Step 2, identify my 3 MIAs for tomorrow. And then step 3 is put those MIAs in order of importance. So the reason this is powerful is that tomorrow morning when you start work, before getting distracted by anything else, you've got that first MIA right in front of you. You sit down and you do it before anything else. And when you've done that, it actually doesn't matter what happens with the rest of the day, because you know you've done the most important things. And like taking 5 minutes at the end of the day, you also get kind of a bit of closure, which is, it's hard for us because we love our businesses. And then when you start work tomorrow, you don't have to waste 5 minutes thinking, what should I do first? You just sit down, get straight to it.
Know.
Yeah. And don't work from a massive, big, long to-do list. Work from a daily action list, because that's going to be so much more powerful. And I honestly, this short and sweet end of day review is really going to quickly show you where you need to make any changes. So instead of getting to the end of another week or an end of another month and wondering why haven't I achieved my goals, every day you're checking in with what's important, moving forward, celebrating where you're at. So that is, as I say, with that and the Mighty 90, really, really powerful stuff. And what I will say about all of the productivity stuff, again, like, it's simple, they're simple things, but it's not what you know, it's what you do. So if you consistently use these things, they're going to have a big impact. And I want to remind everybody that habits are what create your future. And this is a quote that I share all the time, and I'll share it with you, Katie, to share, because it's something you want to keep reading and realize, oh my goodness. And it's, people do not decide their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. Like, this is huge.
I love that. That's so true though.
Isn't it?
It's so true.
It's why we need to be aware of our daily actions, which are our habits, and our thoughts, because they literally create our future.
Yeah,
so
because
it means
some people always wonder, like, how other people can achieve so much in a day.
Yeah.
While others only achieve a couple of things.
Yes.
And it's
exactly
just down to habits.
It really, really is. And like, when we actually realize that, I mean, like, that quote again is what made me realize, oh my goodness, like, are my daily habits going to take me to where I want to get to? Like, are they the habits of somebody that's super successful? And like I said, it's like, when you realize that you don't have to be motivated about your goals, because if you've got the right habits, you're naturally going to achieve your goals, because your habits are going to get you there, which is just
absolutely
amazing.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Joe, for joining us. And Joe's actually very kindly put a link below for us, and it's Joe's 5-day challenge to quadruple your productivity. That sounds absolutely amazing. So please do check out that link below. And also, Joe, I'll pop your amazing quote in there as well.
Okay. Okay. So please remember that it's not what you know, it's what you do that matters, and that these are simple, they're really simple habits, but if you do them on a regular basis, it's going to be absolutely game changing. So yeah, here's to your success.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Joe, and I will see you guys for another 3 Tip Tuesday next week.